Okay, we're going to make chicken fried rice. Now you can do this with chicken, steak, shrimp, whatever meat you have. So the first thing you need to do for this is to make your rice. So here's the players in the game. We're gonna melt some butter over pretty high heat. I have mine on a medium high, on the high side. And you're going to add some olive oil to this. You can do this all with olive oil. You can use canola oil, you can use just butter. I use a mix of butter and olive oil. When your fats have melted, your butter, your oil, whatever you're using, you're gonna put in a cup of rice. Now this is gonna seem strange. I do this a little bit different than other people, but I was taught this trick by a lady who worked for a test kitchen, a well-known magazine's test kitchen. This will keep your rice from sticking together and getting clumpy, okay? So you can do this with white rice, brown rice, wild rice, whichever one you want to use. I'm using just plain old white long grain. So you toast this, you see how it has absorbed some of the oil on the outside of the rice. You toast this until all of it is coated with the oil. And you be sure to stir this as you toast, or the oil and the butter will scorch on that rice, and then your rice will stick to the bottom of the pan and it is not good. So what you do at this point is you add some salt and some pepper, and you can throw in a garlic clove, you can throw in whatever seasoning you like. I use garlic salt. We're going to throw in a healthy dose of that. We're going to stir that all together. Once that is stirred in, you put a cup of rice, and they say to do 2 cups of liquid to your rice. I do just under 2 cups. So you take your water, chicken broth, whatever you're using, and you have that liquid hot before you add it to your rice. Microwave it, do whatever you want to do, but get it hot before you add it. That way it bubbles as soon as you add it to the rice. So now you just give it one good stir, put your lid on, and turn your heat down to about, low, medium low. And you're gonna let that cook for 15 minutes. Okay, so while our rice is cooking, we're gonna go ahead and cook our meat. I'm making chicken. You can do steak, shrimp, whatever kind of meat you have. You can use a wok. You can use any kind of nonstick skillet, even a cast iron skillet. I don't know what this pan is called. This is something that I stole from my mom's house, but it looks like it's going to make a really good surface for this particular kind of fried rice stir fry. So let's go ahead and cook our chicken. We need to put some butter, of course. Can't really cook well without butter. And we're going to turn this up to about a medium heat because we want the chicken to get some browning on it. Okay, and then I'm going to use a little bit of sesame oil as well, just along with the butter. Not a whole lot because we don't want everything coming over the sides of the pan. You see it's not a very deep pan. The butter and the peanut oil have started bubbling. That's what we want to have happen. So now we're going to add our chicken to the pan. It'll turn loose. And we're just going to stir that around. We want all of these pieces to get evenly browned. And while those are browning, we're going to cut up some veggies. So what I'm using is what I had in the fridge. Use whatever you have. I have carrots, I have squash, a piece of an onion, a piece of a green bell pepper, and some asparagus. So I'm going to chop these up into bite-sized pieces. And then when the chicken's done, we will cook those on this pan as well. What you might want to have gathered up, you need a little more oil, a little soy sauce. I'm using this seasoning sauce. Use it or don't use it. White wine vinegar. If you don't have white wine vinegar, just use a splash of apple cider or regular old white vinegar. And again, with the garlic salt. You watch the browning on your chicken, and you will have to turn the pieces individually with a set of tongs, just so that you get a good even brown on all sides. Okay, so we have let the chicken cook about 10-12 minutes. With steak, if you like medium well, you would let that cook maybe 4 to 5 minutes. In pieces this size, shrimp is going to take 2 to 3 minutes, but it will curl up and tell you when it's done. Anyway, so we're going to take this chicken out of the pan, and then we will cook our veggies. And we're going to cook this in the same pan without washing it because you want all that good flavor from the chicken there. We're going to put another pat of butter on it. We are going to cook our veggies in the order in which they need to be cooked. What gets done, what takes the longest to get done would be the carrots. So we're going to throw those on. And we're just going to let those cook in that butter. I'm going to add just a touch of peanut oil to the carrots. I'm going to turn the heat down to about a medium. We don't really want them to char too much. We want them to cook and get soft. So we're going to do the carrots, and then we will add the onions and peppers. And as you see, I leave them in large chunks because I don't like onions or peppers, and that reduces the risk of me biting into one. And I like to put the squash in next, and then the asparagus just takes just a few seconds. So while the carrots are cooking, we're going to move over here and we're going to break up 4 eggs. We're going to go ahead and crack those. You crack about an egg per person, but I add an extra one because we like a lot of egg in the rice. And while the carrots are cooking, go ahead and season with some of your garlic salt. You season as you go, and that way everything is really flavorful. So our carrots are pulling up some of those brown bits from the chicken. You just let those cook about a minute or two. These are relatively small pieces, as you can see, that I cut up so that they would cook relatively quickly. And now we're going to add our peppers and onions to that. And you just let those kind of get soft along with those carrots. And then we will add the squash. So now you let the onions and peppers go about a minute. We're going to go ahead and add the squash, because each of these veggies continue cooking with whatever else you're adding to it, of course. So we're going to add a little bit more garlic salt at this point, and some pepper on there. And if you see, it kind of is starting to look dry, and that squash is going to absorb some of the oil, and needs a little bit of oil to cook. Or butter in this instance, because I love my butter. So we're going to add another pat of butter right in there and let that melt and cook along with the squash and the veggies. So also, if you have, I'm not above adding a little bacon grease to this because it does add great flavor to anything. Now our timer has gone off on our rice. So we're going to open that, and you see it's perfectly steamed. I'm going to get a fork and show you. So see, it's not clumpy. We'll add this to our pan here in a minute and then put the eggs in with that. While you're cooking this, you keep stirring your veggies around. You see a lot of it that's not burning. The carrots got a little bit charred, but in butter makes it taste better. The rest of it is pulling up some of the brown bits from the chicken that we cooked. And so now we're going to add in our asparagus. You let the squash go about a minute, minute and a half, 2 minutes, whatever, however much time you have. And now we're going to stir in this asparagus. Now at this point, I'm going to add just a little bit of this soybean sauce, that's what it's called. And it's not really a fish sauce, but you use it when you cook fish, apparently. But I use it for this. That adds a lot of flavor while this is cooking together. So we're just going to let this go about a minute, let our asparagus get softer. You don't want it mushy, so watch that carefully. Okay, so now that I don't create a mess, I'm going to take the veggies and put them in a bowl. And then I'm going to do the rice with the eggs. We'll put it all together. To our hot pan, we're going to add, guess what, butter. And then we're going to put our rice on there. Now we seasoned our rice when we were cooking it, so we don't have to add a lot of salt right now, but we are going to add some soy sauce. So you toss your rice around. You are frying the rice. That's the name, fried rice. And it's picking up the remaining little bits of chicken that we cooked. or beef or shrimp, whatever you cook. Now we're going to add our eggs right here to the side. You really have to watch this when you add because this pan is super hot. You're going to add it and stir them around immediately. As you see, it will begin to stick if you're not right on top of it. When your egg is all cooked, you begin to mix that into your rice. Okay, so at this point you're going to add just a little bit more black pepper because I like black pepper. And then we're going to add, just hit it with just a little bit of white wine vinegar. Plain vinegar or apple cider vinegar or even lemon juice. We'll touch of lemon juice just to brighten the flavors a little bit because we used a lot of butter, quite a bit of oil. So now all that is mixed together. We're going to add our veggies back in and our chicken, and it's ready to eat.